Hey guys, welcome to a new episode of Undiscovered Uncovered. I'm Stephanie Lombardo, and we're here in Monster Music where we'll be talking with Charlene Kaye. She recently had her latest single, Forever Is a Long Time, featured on VH1, and in the past month she's been able to go even further.
It's a long way to the end of the road. When you wondered, were you swallowed by the valley below? So focus hard on every following step. Focus, forever is a long, long time to guess. Oh, forever is a long time.
Hi Charlene, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. So let's go back to the beginning. Okay, you've been playing music for a long time. You started playing piano when you were 5 years old, which is very young, and you basically taught yourself guitar when you were about 13 years old. So let's talk about that moment when you realized this is what I want to do. I want to be a musician. When was that moment for you?
I didn't actually make the decision to jump in full-time until, honestly, like 4 or 5 years ago, because I had played all through college somewhat hesitantly because I was getting my degree in English and I was kind of flirting with the idea of becoming a teacher. So when I got to college, I would just play as much as I possibly could and played open mics and played like opening slots for people, like sometimes like 3 or 4 times in a weekend. Just I'd say yes to everything. And then after that, I made the move to New York. I was waiting tables, still kind of had one foot in, one foot out, and was flirting with the idea of grad school also, which was championed very much by my parents as well. And then somewhere the switch flipped where I started playing a bunch of gigs that just felt so good. And I was like, you know, nothing really makes me happier than this, and nothing feeds me as much as music does. And so if there's any time that I'm going to do this, it has to be right now, because this is the fire has been stronger than it ever has. And so I can't not, I would be a fool to not take advantage of that right now.
Very passionate lady. Yeah, so you started with in clubs in New York City, downtown, or what was it like breaking into the business?
It was a lot of work, and it's still a lot of work. The first gig I ever played in New York was at the Delancey on the Lower East Side, and then I played clubs like Rockwood Music Hall in the Living Room. It can be incredibly intimidating to just walk into any club on the Lower East Side on a Friday night and be blown away. The more people that you talk to and the more stories you hear, the more fascinating and inspiring it is to kind of inspire you to carve your own path as well.
So it sounds like a lot of work, definitely. You write a lot of songs that are pretty deep. You write a lot about romance. So where do you draw your material, though, from?
Really everywhere. I draw it from my everyday life. It's most natural to write out of personal experience, and I think a lot of singer-songwriters will relate to that. I hear things all around me, and I see things that I would love to turn into something aural, and that can range from like a conversation with somebody to a moment I had alone when I was walking. I think transportation and being in motion kind of hits a lot of those creative triggers too, like being on the train or flying somewhere or even going on a run.
So it's the movement, it's the constant flow, and that's what art is all about.
Yeah.
I mean, being an artist is about having an eye to see different things and having a certain perspective. Mm-hmm. So it's all relative, really. So let's talk about your music videos. You have some fabulous music videos out for Animal Love. One of which that I want to talk about is Human, which has a lot of mythological references in it, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. Your sister directed that, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, good job to Leanne, fabulous work. So go over that process. What is it like shooting a music video, and in particular for Human?
Sure. That was one of my favorite ones I've ever done, and Leanne really nailed it. I love working with her because she comes up with the concept from A to Z, and 99% of the time I'll think it's awesome. So the Human music video we shot last summer in an abandoned old warehouse in Detroit, and the concept basically is based on the Greek myth of Pygmalion, which is the story of a sculptor that creates the most beautiful woman in the world and falls in love with her. And the gods take pity on him and bring her to life, but in a cruel twist of fate, the statue's too cold to love him back. And so in our case, we stole from that story and we flipped the genders so that I'm the sculptor and then I create the most beautiful ideal man in the world. But there are lots of ballerinas that serve to tell the tale, and he falls in love with one of them, and then I get really jealous and destroy all of them, and then I paint myself all white and I surrender my own mortality so that I can be forever statuesque with him.
But you're only human.
It's deep concepts like that that really, get you noticed. So your other music video that you recently have is Forever is a Long Time, which was also premiered on VH1 not too long ago either, which was super exciting, I'm sure. So tell us about that concept and that storyline that you put together.
In a nutshell, it's sort of about knowing that you can't stay with one person till the end of the road, and you can't walk down that path with them because of whatever reason, and you just know that life is short and you got to climb out of that window however possible. It's like light and easy stuff. And so Liam, the director of the video and my good friend, had this idea which involved projections. In this case, he got a bunch of public access footage, and a lot of it is from World War II. There's a lot of chaos, and I wanted something that would, like a visual complement that would really encapsulate that panic of the song.
So you obviously work very hard with what you do. Do you have any advice for any aspiring musicians?
Yes. So depending on where you are, if you're in New York or Ann Arbor or Wichita, Kansas, just take advantage of the connections around you and go play as much as possible. Don't say no to anything. Ask for help. I think that's probably the biggest piece of advice that I could give, is just don't be afraid to ask anyone around you to help you. And chances are people will want to. If you are a kind person and you work hard, I think good things are bound to happen.
So where could we see you perform next and check out your act?
I'll be performing on December 8th at the Mercury Lounge in New York, supporting an amazing band called Hank and Cupcakes. And if you haven't heard of them, you should definitely check them out. They're absolutely incredible.
We'll definitely keep our eyes open for that one. And where can we go to hear any of your music?
You can go to my website, charlenekaye.com. That's Kaye. And then I'm on all the other various social networks, but you can find them all there, basically.
You can't escape the feeling that rises from the root. It's better than the silence when two hearts run out of fuel. We painted little pictures to escape the big, but now the light is fading and all our love with it, and it won't quit. It's a long way to the end of the road, or when you wondered were you swallowed by the valley below. So focus hard on every following step, oh, 'cause forever is a long, long time to guess. Oh, forever is a long time. Oh, oh, forever is a long time. Oh, oh.
Well, thanks for watching another episode of Undiscovered Uncovered. I'm Stephanie Lombardo with Charlene Kaye, and for Monster Music, that's it. Be sure to check us out next time.